I'm the Health Promotion Administrator, and I'm sitting here with my friend and fellow coordinator, Jewel Smith. She is a rock star at putting together wellness fairs.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I've heard just rave reviews. She has a wonderful way of putting these together, and one of the things that I'm trying to do from my role here at ERS is just make life a little bit easier for wellness coordinators to share ideas so you're not having to recreate the wheel.
Right.
Jules figured out how to do this through trial and error over years of experience. So she's going to share with you some tools and tips and tricks that she has found along the way through this webinar to help you build your own wellness fair.
Well, thank you, Lacey. And all the credit can't come to me. It's got to go to all the wellness coordinators that are out there. Thank you for what you do. Thank you, Lacey, for what you do, because everything that you do is really worth something and it helps everyone. So don't ever feel like what you're doing is not appreciated. So thank you for having me today. This presentation that I've put together is about how to build a wellness fair. This is not a presentation that is meant to help you organize a wellness fair step by step. It is a presentation for individuals who have been doing your wellness fairs and to help you make it even better and to help you stay driven and focused. So let's get going with everything that we have in here today. So I hope this is helpful to you. This is going to be about building your framework, knowing your government code. That's the most important thing. If you're a wellness coordinator, your government code should be in your credenza, in your drawer, right by your computer at all times.
That is your justification for everything you do, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
That
if you ever hit any walls, definitely pull out that government code and figure out how to make it work in your favor.
According to 664.
According to government code 664, yes.
Yeah.
Create and implement health-minded themes and activities. Make it fun. Make sure that anything that you pick, that you relate it to wellness, the pillars, movement, fitness, mental, physical, anything that you can think of that makes it part of becoming a lifestyle. Next, we're going to leverage your internal resources to promote your health initiatives. So make sure you don't forget about what's going on there in your agency. And then we're going to strategize to ensure success and avoid pitfalls, because Lord knows I've had a few, okay? All right, now in my presentation, you should have a copy of it. I did a little excerpt from Government Code 664 because this is the health fair, and most of the time they're going to be in your training rooms, your conference rooms, a break room, or even a cafeteria. So I did run into a wall and someone told me I couldn't use the cafeteria or a conference room, and sure enough, my government code was here, had it handy, presented it, and next thing you know, here it was. We're on to the next step to where I justified my ability and our resources to use the conference room or the cafeterias in any state building or facility.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so that's
it's amazing. Sometimes you think, how could that happen?
Right.
But it does,
right,
because somebody else needed the room at the same time or whatever.
Exactly.
You need to be able to come back in there and really
Now,
talk.
don't get me wrong. Sometimes wellness does take backstage, and we all know how that goes. But don't worry. Again, do not let it be a pitfall. Just pick another day and live another day.
Absolutely.
Okay. One of the things that I learned over the years is that you always need to document everything, good or bad. Today, I am in the process of planning my wellness fair, and I went back and looked at my notes from 3 years ago, and one of the things I saw on there is do not ever, ever, ever squeeze this many tables into this tiny space. So, so here it is, 2 to 3 years later. It was the documentation that I keep handy. So make sure you always document everything, even if it's ideas or something you implemented or wanted to do or got a suggestion. I went back to suggestions maybe 2 or 3 years back to help with planning with future events. So make sure you always document everything, good and bad.
Yeah.
Set your goals. What is it that drives your leadership support? What are they focused on? So set some wellness goals. Do you have goals in your program that you want to meet? Track your ideas and suggestions. Your notes and advanced work will be helpful for future events. So always make sure that you do those things. Alrighty?
Do you have ideas for people about, and you may get into this later with the goals, like what types of goals? Is it based off of attendance or engagement with other programs? Or
Right. One of the things that I have, that's my goal, is to always incorporate other agencies. It's also my goal to every year double check to see what it is that my leadership is interested in. Because most state agencies, your leadership's goals are going to change. And we know there's politics in the office. We know that political things are happening around, not that we're adopting them, but it's also going to be kind of one of those things that's going to impact what you are doing.
Okay.
So always keep that in mind. I try not to set number goals, but some of us do. But if you are that person, way to go. I try not to.
Okay.
Let's jump into reviewing our agency resources. A lot of times we forget that, hey, I've got to coordinate with the building liaison. Do I have that space? Like I mentioned earlier, I ran into that jam about reserving the conference room. So I had to make sure that I reached out to our building liaison. Your communications, who handles outreach, who does your press conferences. Those are the individuals that you want to talk to within your agency. Talk to graphics. I don't know where graphics is at your agency, but every agency has one. So make sure you definitely get with them because they're going to be key to your success as well.
Actually, at the conference last week, there was a smaller agency. I think it was one of our Court of Appeals. They only have about 20 people, and they don't have a graphics person. And so we were talking about the fact that that's where your fellow coordinators can share information. So if you actually don't have a graphics design person, please email me and I can connect you with some resources to help you with some of that because, again, we're just trying to not recreate the wheel. If you need something, let us know.
Thanks for mentioning that, Lacey, because one of the things that we always forget is to collaborate.
Yeah.
If you read Government Code 664, it says we're supposed to collaborate, so don't go it alone, okay? So if you are a smaller agency, find an agency with a graphics department or see if it's something that can be outsourced because you can spend funding on your wellness activities, and that's also in your government code. So keep your government code handy. So back to our resources. You don't want to move those tables and chairs by yourself, so reach out to the warehouse early. Your employee programs, if you're in HR, if you're in benefits, or whatever your role is in your agency, make sure you reach out to HR, accounting, payroll, wherever it's at, and make sure you talk to them about any employee programs, such as the State Employees Charitable Campaign, the Employees Assistance Program, anything that's related to something that you do with your employees, even if it's safety.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. One of the things you want to always do, like I mentioned in the next slide, these are those examples of those. One of the things with me sitting here with Lacey is that we have to make sure that you include your ERS benefits. And when I say that, you want to make sure that you invite your providers, whoever's handling our health insurance at the time, our dental, anything that they provide as a benefit, you want to promote that at your wellness fair. And sometimes individuals overlook that. Before we even get out there and start reaching out to outside exhibitors, make sure you reach inside and internally and promote our benefits that we have handy, and that's something that employees definitely need to know about. And before you know it, you already have 6 to 10 exhibitors with the table before you even reach out to outside exhibitors. So always keep that in mind. Involve employees. Schedule a brainstorming session. I've done this training a few times now, and I always get the big chuckles and laughs when I said, bring in the younger staff, bring in the older staff, bring in the in-between staff, bring in that one person who's never happy. This is their time to give you those ideas, and it helps your event. Sometimes we try to run down the hall and avoid them, but you want to have this time to bring them in and let them be heard, because you will get the best ideas from these brainstorming sessions. This is not your planning committee. This is just your brainstorming session.
Right.
And this is where you bring a big, thick pad and pen and paper, okay? Then after you have your brainstorming, then I form a planning committee. And some of the resources that I mentioned earlier, those are the individuals that I try to have on my planning committee. Because if I have the graphics team there, they're going to tell me, okay, we can do this, we can do that, and we can help you out here. I also sometimes include our support team, and they're awesome about, hey, I don't mind bringing in some tables and chairs and helping out, and I've got these things, and you can use it towards whatever you need at the event. And so before you know it, a lot of the items you may need for your event is right there in-house.
Right.
Okay.
You got that diverse committee from all different sectors.
Definitely.
And you're really building a community, like a tribe of people that want to get behind it.
Exactly. Good point. Definitely. Because by the time your next event comes up, people will be looking forward to it and excited. It's like 6 months before my event, and I'm always getting emails, Jewel, when is the flu shops? When is the event? What's the theme? I'm like, it's like a big reveal now. So now we just kind of sit back and everybody rolls in, and it makes it a lot of fun around the agency. If you're one of those individuals that you want to survey your employees before the event, definitely go ahead and do that. I mean, every agency is different. Some agencies are large, some are small. You have to do what works best for you. Whenever you do your event, I am determined to always have a theme, because without a theme, you're going to go into too many different directions and down too many rabbit holes. I've been planning events since 2000 when I moved to the Human Resources Division, and I first started out without themes, and we had so much going on, no one really kind of knew what was the focus, and sometimes things got lost in the mix of the event. If you don't have a theme, it's still okay, but have it focused and directed. And if it's your first time doing a wellness fair, start small. Don't try to go big. Don't try to fill up the room. Keep it directed and focused on whatever your goals are. Back to what we mentioned earlier. When you choose a theme, it builds excitement. It keeps your goals focused. It helps with recruiting volunteers as well.
Because they get to wear costumes.
They get to dress as referees. They also get a chance to do a lot of other different stuff. So, matter of fact, this year we're doing GoPro with your health. So we're going to have halftime performance. So I'm having a lot of fun recruiting individuals right now. And if you're looking at the slides, this is an example of one of the themes that we selected. It was Be the Best Superhero of Your Life. We chose superheroes, but we also incorporated our agency initials. We also included the State Employees Charitable Campaign, and their logo is I Am Texas Strong, and we just put it along with the theme that says Be a Hero and Donate to the SECC. We also did a blood drive, and we still, keeping with the theme, we said be a hero and donate blood. And one of the things I like to always do is include my volunteers and our employees. And the way I do that with our employees is I have name tags that go along with the theme. So with our name tags as superheroes, and it has my name, let me help you be the best superhero of your life. Again, keeping with the theme. And then another way that we do to incorporate our exhibitors and the employees to engage in conversation is that we have a wellness passport. And this wellness passport transforms with the theme. The superhero theme, they're known for leaping tall buildings, and you have that sign or that big light in the sky that calls on that superhero, and we chose to put the OAG up there in the big lights, and we have tall buildings. And so it was the employees' opportunity to go around to the different rooms and visit with those exhibitors and get initial, move on. You can use this passport to do your surveys about how did it go, any other information that you're trying to collect. Generally what we do with our passport, we just have name, phone number, and that's what we use for them to enter into a door prize. This next example was Wellness Monopoly. Lacey, this is one of those wellness events to where I've never seen so many grown people enjoy it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
It looks like your graphics people have fun with this, too.
They have a lot of fun. And again, if you make it fun, everybody's on board. And you'll see talent come from all sides of your agency. You know, our graphics department is awesome. And they took the layout of the building. This is the Clemens building. And they took it and shaped it into a game board. And we had so many employees that were going to the locations, tallying up their money, and they were very serious about the monopoly. So it was a lot of fun.
So they got money for each station?
It wasn't money. On the game board, kind of like when you go, on the game board it says collect $200. So since we didn't have the resources to print money and we didn't want to get in trouble with anyone by printing money, we kept it easy and simple, and we just put the dollar amounts on the passport. And then at the end, when they turned it in, they had to tally up their money.
How much money they got.
Right.
Oh.
The higher your value, the bigger the door prize. So it was based on that. So that saved time and resources and keeping it real simple. So keep it simple no matter what you do. And what we did for the theme to relate it to wellness is your health is your wealth. And on the name tags, we just said, I'm inspired to play the OAG's Wellness Monopoly. So that's kind of what we did. And we took the O in the OAG and we put a top hat on it.
That's
so
fantastic.
Again, we're keeping with the theme and keeping it very simple. And we're still promoting our events and our activities. The next theme is get your health in ship shape. And so when I did this one, I'd never been on a cruise, so it was very interesting to do this without any experience. So this took a lot of research. And what we did with this one is get your health into ship shape. Graphics did an awesome job, and what they did is they took and put a cruise ship behind the OAG Wellness logo. So if you're not getting the theme here, there's always branding. We still have, that is your agency. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can brand your agency with your wellness. So have a brand and talk to your graphics department about that. So that's something to keep in mind. Even when you give out flyers, handouts, posters, anything you post, if they see that logo on there, they know it's related to wellness.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you're trying to make sure that they know to contact you or reach HR, that's another way to put it on there. And that's another signature that they demand that I put on there. So apparently you got to always be able to be contacted.
There you go.
So with this one, what we did is that we did like same thing again with Monopoly, except for we turned the stops on the wellness passport into like ports. And again, relating it to wellness, we had No Stress Bay. We had a yoga excursion at noon.
Yeah.
And we also had each bay a little different. The cabana's a rejuvenation. And it's kind of tiny on here, but I just got a little small picture in there. And again, you can be creative with it. And then as far as our name tags, what we did is that we put kind of like OS to CDG. I don't know what that location was, but it was a graphics, again, being creative. And we're still sticking with the theme, and the name tags kind of look like your ticket when you when you get your ticket to go on a cruise. So after I did this whole wellness fair, I finally got a chance to go on a cruise.
I
so
bet it inspired you to go on
really
a cruise after.
It really did, because I was like, I gotta try this for real.
That's wonderful.
So one of the things that I always remind all the coordinators, start early. Please do not start 30 days out with your wellness fair. That is the worst time for exhibitors. It puts a lot of stress on you. So make sure you start 6 to 8 months in advance. And if you do more than one job like myself, make sure that you allow yourself time, because if you start late in the game, it's going to be a lot of hassle. So please make sure you start early. Again, reach out to your benefits, programs and insurance providers, and ERS is a great resource. And again, other state agencies, pair up. Don't do all the work yourself.
Well, and like you have on the slide here, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas, our Health Select team over there, they are the ones who will reach out to Naturally Slim, Real Appeal, and Arasti, and then they'll put together a booth. That's 4 booths right there for your for your fair, as long as you have enough people to support that many people,
Exactly.
that they are going to do a lot of that, and they're amazing. So
they are, and they get on board. And in this slide, they attend and participate in our themes as well. So
as Becky,
yes, so
she's
awesome. She's an awesome Wonder Woman. So everyone is great.
Truly is our Wonder Woman.
Yes. So make sure if you offer any type of wellness activities that you have them there at your wellness fair. We offer massage therapy during employees' breaks throughout the day, and so we have it one day a week. We have it at a set time, so we have that massage therapist there at the wellness fair. So again, taking advantage of your resources that you have. Make sure that you ask your exhibitors to help you with giveaways, because we do our event without a lot of funding. It's based on volunteers and what we're able to get from what's provided in the agency.
Okay.
So if you're one of those agencies without a budget, please know you're not alone and that we're all doing it.
Right.
And just be creative and think outside the box. Like Lacey said, if you have any questions or need anything, feel free to call me or reach out to Lacey. She knows how to get a hold of the majority of us.
That's right. I will track you down.
At your fair, make sure that you add activities. The pictures here, we did Monopoly, and in the Monopoly game, there's go to jail. So we invited A&Ms, their drunk driving assembly here, and it was just kind of like a mobile car that you get in, and it
assimilation drills. That's amazing.
And so what they're doing is that they're showing you how it feels to drive drunk. So this was very popular. We do flu shots. We do the blood and sugar screenings. We had the gyms come. We had some boxing. And in this picture here at the bottom, that's my mommy.
Aww.
So my mom always comes over and supports me.
That's wonderful.
And we have a photo booth set up. And so she likes to have a lot of fun. So love you, Mom.
That's where you got it from.
So make sure that you keep your theme focused. It was a big stretch with the Monopoly, but we got it going. So you can kind of see some of these pictures here. And then our next slide, again with the activities, you can do skin screenings, spa treatments, and again your photo booth. In this slide here, you can see our picture of the cruise ship back there, and it almost looks like the picture you take when you first get on the cruise ship. So that was a lot of fun. So now the photo booth is a staple, so everybody walks around looking for the photo booth. Make sure that when you're scheduling your event that you don't do it around times that are going to be like October. That's when I have my event. But October is breast cancer awareness, and sometimes you got to be understanding that if it's in that month, that's going to be a time where you're not going to be able to get as many exhibitors who can focus on that subject for you. So keep that in mind. Also keep holidays in mind. Keep major events in mind. We're in Austin. We get ACL, South by Southwest. And so when that's in town, that is not the time to have an event, because your exhibitors are limited, transportation is limited, you got traffic, you got all those type of things. So keep that in mind when you choose your date. And whatever you do, do not compete with your exhibitors or your partnering or neighboring state agencies. Work together. Here in the Capitol Complex, we've got the east side of the complex, and we've got the west side of the complex. They do theirs in June, and then I do mine in the fall, but we work together. So that way your exhibitors aren't stretched too thin, because they want to be at your event and their event. So again, work together. Partner up with other agencies. With us being in the same buildings a lot of times, especially in the field, the state agencies, you might be in there with another one. So get out there, talk to each other, get out there and work together. And again, start small and then grow your event bigger. This took almost 10 years to get to, so we started with 10 to 12. Now we're up to about 45.
Wow, 45 exhibitors. And you come over every year to the CPA Wellness Fair as well, and then they go to your fair, because we all are trying to get ideas. And so I just want to throw that in there as well. If you're a coordinator and you've never done this before, a good place to start might be just to come to Jules Fair in October and check it out.
That's right.
See where it is.
So definitely get out there, and they know when they see me at their event, I'm coming in.
Right.
Don't recreate the wheel.
Yeah.
Someone's already done
Somebody's
the work.
done it.
So get out there and be mindful of it, and have some fun, and share ideas, and don't feel like you're stealing it. We're borrowing it, and we're sharing resources.
That's right.
And then if you are starting out, I included some potential themes, home run to health, wellness rocks. I did that one year. It was my first time out, and it didn't go so well. So I do include information about my pitfalls if you talk to me, but it's not in here. But I will admit that I have done a few things that did not go as well as I planned. So if you have those type of events, jot it down, learn from it, and do it again better the next time.
So the rock one, was there just confusion around what your intention was, or?
I think so. And plus, it was like, okay, well, rock, is it 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? When you've got so many different generations.
Is it rock climbing? Is it?
Yeah, so that's where the confusion came. So I was just kind of like, okay, I need to home this in.
Yeah.
So if it's too broad, narrow it down.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned.
So like rock into the 80s. Would be
that'd be a lot of fun. Could you imagine dressing up in Jane Fonda speedos?
I could.
Oh my
Jewel.
gosh, that would be the time. I mean, I might go back in time. I don't know, 60s, 70s. I mean, a lot of people love to have fun, and if you add some wellness aspect to it, it'll be a lot of fun. And then the haunting, hustling, that's kind of more like Halloween. Sports related theme. Like I said, I'm doing football this year, and it's also football season. So, have fun. Look it around and see what's the season, what's going on. So I hope these will be helpful to you. One of the things that I also included was just a screenshot of how I track my resources, because I take this spreadsheet and I use it to keep track of any type of needs that the exhibitors need, because you want to make this a win-win event. You want to make sure they have what they need. It's useful for setting up, also for greeting them, promoting it. You could take this spreadsheet and use it for just about everything, and that's what I use it for. I transform it from the list of exhibitors, I transform it to where they're going to be seated, where they're going, and as long as you know, everybody knows. And if it's only one of you, like it is at my agency, doing a lot of the coordination, you can take this list and you can give it to your volunteers on that day. And what's so great about it is on that day, that's when all your volunteers come in and you have help. So make sure you ask for help. My division joins in and they make it so successful. It's not me alone on the day of.
Right.
We've got an HR table. Benefits is there. We've got our Blue Cross Blue Shield right there beside us. We've got Scott and White on the other side of us. And then keep that in mind. So if you're planning alone, make sure you don't go it alone on the day of, and take this list and make sure you make it to where you can transform it to help you take notes and help your volunteers know what's going on too. And one of the things I also learned is that have a concierge table. Have a table where people have questions, you've got someone there that can answer those. And that's kind of what our HRD table does.
Okay.
We answer questions about benefits. Employees now know to come look for us, and if they have a question about retirement or benefits or leave, they know where we're at, and we're there to answer those questions.
So Human Resources has just a dedicated table every single year.
Yes.
There. That's a great idea.
Yes,
yeah,
we
I love
do.
that.
Our director comes down there, our deputy director comes down there, and it's that leadership support. So it's very helpful. Very, very helpful.
Makes sense.
And then the next thing I have in here, just kind of reminding you to, when you have these events, utilize your corners well. No one likes to be in corners unless it's going to be flu shots, or if you're doing chair massages, or anything that's going to be something that needs to be discreet, if it's a screening or something. View your health fair from the exhibitor's view. What would make them successful? Because if they're successful, your event will be successful. Be mindful of exits. potential fire hazards. Make sure that you anticipate long lines, which I get for the flu shot.
Right.
So each year, that's something that I am working on trying to improve.
Got to get those bottleneck areas where you put I guess it's really important strategically where you put the people.
It definitely is, because we've had long lines where it's blocked the elevators, it's blocked a few doors, and be prepared to have a plan B in those situations. And if you start out and your event's not highly attended, maybe start a little bit smaller and then go bigger. Okay. So keep that in mind, okay? Next thing, when you're promoting your event, seek out those influencers in your agency. If it's leadership, is it communications? Is it going to be that one coworker that that's got the word of mouth? Those are your influencers. Don't just rely on posters and emails, or if you're lucky enough to have social media, but great, we're not able to use that. So I make sure that we definitely go by word of mouth, building that excitement. Make sure that you offer smaller events leading up to your bigger event, and that builds excitement too and helps promote it.
Right.
Because we've started doing arts and crafts, and that was one of the things while we're there. It's a nice stress reliever during your lunch hour. And then what we do is that we talk about upcoming events. And sometimes we have a PowerPoint presentation playing in the background where they know what's coming up. So keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah. Just anywhere you can put the information out.
Exactly.
There.
Staff meetings, y'all are coming together. It's your quarterly meeting. If your individuals are coming in for the field offices for a meeting, make sure you get a chance to either get a word in there in front of them or to have a flyer ready with a little blurb about what's going on. Definitely I encourage emails from your senior leadership. That's very helpful. Put up posters throughout the work site. Use anything online that you feel that is approved by your agency. And again, double check your agency resources. There might be another avenue, anything you can think of to get the word out. Okay? And then at the end of your event, I always say you're planning for next year. Always, always. Make note of what worked, what didn't work. Send thank you emails to your volunteers, your exhibitors, anyone who helped you in any way, because again, that is a rung in your ladder that's going to help you for the next year. Plan follow-up events if you want to have like a thank you party, or if you want to have an event, like say for instance, if B12 shots was something that was really popular and employees email you about it, that's a new event that you can have on your calendar of wellness activities. Organize your data however whatever you decide to collect. Organize it, and I know you're going to be so tired after your event, but write these notes down. You got to do it, because come the next day you'll be like, oh, it doesn't matter.
I don't remember.
And won't remember it. And it will definitely matter come next year this time.
Right, okay? Absolutely. I was just saying that we just had the state wellness conference and writing down my thoughts, because I know when it comes back around, I'm not going to remember exactly what I thought this year. So,
right. Yeah. If you've never been to that statewide wellness coordinators conference, here's a plug for them. Definitely go.
Amazing. Yeah, they really do a fantastic job of putting together an event that is totally geared towards state wellness coordinators. So
I got rejuvenated, and I got some great motivation from the conference. So if you feel like you're kind of down in the slums, it's worth the investment and worth the ask to definitely go to the statewide wellness coordinators conference.
It's in 664.
Yes.
Legislative code.
There you go. Again. And then also at the end of your event, or if you're starting your new event in the following year, I included a slide to show you what I did in 2016 and in 2017. This is the same layout of the building. It's just changed based on the theme. And I don't know if you could see like the curvature in the building. It's the same thing. So don't recreate the wheel. Use what works. And so if you need to change it based on your theme, definitely so. But if not, use the identical layout and change it with your theme. So I put those two side by side just to give you an idea. So this was this year, so you're ready for the next year. Definitely with your foundation, you got to make sure that you are utilizing your exhibitors. They are a wealth of resources. Invite exhibitors to join the theme. Encourage interactive activities. Like I mentioned, we're going to have halftime performance, which includes movement, fitness, and a little bit of stretching. So I hope it's going to be a lot of fun. So this is my first time doing it. So, whenever you have an event, it's your first time, just hope for the best. And if it doesn't work, make sure you jot it down, okay? If you have exhibitors who are outside the state, ask if they offer any employee discounts. Gold's Gyms, a lot of them will offer discounts. Also, a lot of them already have it on the books. It's just that we don't make the ask. When you don't ask, people don't know. If you're able to, request a door prize, stay within the government code. We all know, definitely talk to your general counsel on that. So again, stay within the letter of the law. All right? Key points to building a successful wellness fair. Search the internet for a detailed event planning guide. So if this is your first time, again, this was just something to help you improve your event. If you are a first timer, make sure you get a detailed event planning guide. We're living in a generation where everything's on the web. So if there's anything you're looking for, do a quick search. Create a win-win connection for your employees, yourself, and your exhibitors. If they're successful, you're successful. Remember, don't go it alone. Again, we plug Government 664. And my last big plug, make it fun. You got to have some fun. If you're not having any fun, you're going to be just spinning your wheels and you'll feel like it's a huge task. And to kind of close out my presentation, I included some of the resources, a link to ERS. Blue Cross Blue Shield has some great information out there, and the statewide wellness coordinator website too. If you don't have that, it's full of tons of resources. So make sure you check that out. Make sure you collaborate. Don't go it alone. Look around and see who's around you. And thank you so much for listening to this webinar.
Yeah, thank you so much for being willing to put this together. It's not easy. I know you have a lot of different responsibilities. You are not only the wellness coordinator, you're doing a lot of other things at your agency.
Right.
So, as most coordinators are. And so we really appreciate your time, your energy. You make everything more fun. So thank you, Jewel.
Thank you.